everybody. This is a Lamley showcase. I'm outside. I've got a bunch of Bugattis in the background. We will get to that in just a second because I have a brand new set sent to me by Mattel. Here's the box that they came out of. You can see there's 10 pieces. There's a bunch of information if you're looking for it. This is the new Hot Wheels quarter mile vinyl set. I don't know. It's quarter mile something. Quarter mile heroes, quarter mile winners. I don't know, but quarter mile is part of the title. This is one of those sets that the title isn't there, but it has a name. And I think if I even look on the box, it just says themed auto assortment. But Mattel sent this to me. I am going to showcase it for you. There are 5 cars in this set, all, quarter mile suggests to me like drag racers, that sort of thing. Very, very fast cars. This has kind of a supercar theme to it. There are some differences, but you've got these cars. The one major of note is this guy, the Bugatti Veyron 16.4. We will get to that. That's why I have all the Bugattis out. Now, this set has been out in parts of the world, other parts of the world, including Canada, Australia, other areas for quite a while. So it's old news for some of you, but for those of us here in the United States, this is very much new news. If I've got it, it means that it's going to be in stores. I believe, is this a Walmart exclusive? Don't know, Kroger, something. It's going to be hitting stores soon here in the U.S. 10 cars per set or per case, 2 of each. Of the cars that we're going to show. I think we can go ahead and get to showcasing these cars. And we will start with this, the McLaren Senna. Now, I already showed you the back, but I'll show you this in case you want it. This is the code you could use to try and find this. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure what store this is an exclusive. My assumption was Walmart, but I could be wrong because we see sets like this at Walmart, but it could be Kroger, it could be Target. I don't think it's Target, though. Anyway. This is the McLaren Senna in yellow. There is the artwork, which I think is super, super cool. And the car itself, this is, I don't know how many versions we've had. We just had the premium version of the Senna. Well, I've got it loose here. We have the premium version of the Senna from Car Culture. We've had a Hot Wheels ID version of the Senna, and then we've had several basics. This all has been plain, right? The casting was first introduced, designed by Ryo Asada. He modified it slightly to show a little more definition in the headlight area because basics weren't going to get the headlight tampos. And I've really liked this casting ever since it was first released, and one that I am a completist in. In fact, several of these models I am completist so far. So there's that one. It's been a Zamac before. It's been an ID, and I think obviously it's been premium. Next one, number 2 of 5. Now, I said supercars. Here's, I mean, in some ways, you could consider the Dodge Challenger SRT Demon. I mean, dare I say it's an American supercar? I mean, it is, the Demon goes well above and beyond the high-performing Dodge Challengers, right? And then, I don't know. You could consider it this. Here is the artwork, and since I've already opened the other 5 models, here it is. In gray, it's got some styling very similar to the Super Treasure Hunt from a couple years ago in red, right? There's actually been a Super Treasure Hunt twice. It's also been a Zamac. It seems like these models are all, there's been some special editions of each one of these. The Dodge Demon looks cool. I kind of wish it had the same size wheels all around, but, it is that muscly, it's just what Hot Wheels has always done well, is big muscle cars, and this particular Dodge Demon. I really like the color combination with the black rims, and I know a lot of you really dig that casting, so that will be the one you are after. Number 3 of 5 is the Porsche 918 Spyder. In green, art is there. Model is here. Another one that looks very similar to the Super Treasure Hunt that it was done. Now, again, we talk about these special editions. It's been in the basic range. It's been a Super Treasure Hunt. It has been a Target exclusive. Now it is part of this particular set. I like the green color. Wish it got some detailing in the rear, at least the engine portion of it. But the side stripes look okay. They don't. It's just something like, to me, I understand it's got to sell, and so they add these stripes. Don't necessarily need them. Number 4 of 5, Lamborghini Aventador Mura Homage. Now this is an interesting one. There's your art. here is the model. Now, this one might require a little bit of a reminder because the Mura Homage is a style of the Aventador, right? This one debuted a couple years, well, they've done 2 other versions of the Mura Homage, and both have been in keeping with this theme of these cars being special editions. The first Mura Homage was in that kind of maroon color, and it was also a super treasure hunt. Then it was a Kmart exclusive a little bit later in the year in blue, and now here the trio is complete with this orange version with this Mura 50-year striping on the bottom. So it's got that Lamborghini, that Aventador signature orange, which is kind of cool, with the gold rims. It's a cool model. It's not a casting I totally collect. I have a few versions, mainly in premium, but looks very good. All right, we got through those. There is one model that I think we're all very interested in. There's the loose version. Here is the carded. It is the Bugatti Veyron 16.4. And depending on how you look at it, this is either a modified version of the old Veyron casting, or it's just a completely built from scratch new Bugatti Veyron casting. So if we look at the history, let's get to the history first before we get to the loose model. And by the way, we're not going to get to the Chiron. I just put it out here so you can see it. These are all the versions from basic to the 5-pack to the ID of the Zamek to the just recent premium edition. We're going to get that. And then we have the EB110 coming out very soon. When the EB110 comes out, maybe I'll bring all these out again, which is, I think, I might literally have that case tomorrow. I don't know. But let's look at the original Veyron. Now, if you look at the base, all it says is Bugatti Veyron. This was introduced in 2004, and it's a little bit of a rough casting. It has some cool detailing to it. If you look at like the engine, the grill and this kind of interior piece in the engine are all one piece, fitting in with the interior. They did the 2-tone paint. There's some variations here that are kind of difficult to describe. But I think the red, either in some cases the red was painted over black, and in other cases the black was painted over red. If you look right in that wheel well, you can see that there's the red color there. So the black serves as almost like a striping, just a big, thick striping on this casting. This was the first edition. You look at it, and it's like, as it goes on the turntable, you can see it's cool. It's just like the wheel wells are off, like the wheels are too skinny. It looks a little bit just out of proportion. It is based on the concept, and this is where I think you can consider these 2 different castings, the new one not as a modified version of the old one. Because this was, I think you look at the headlights, you can see that they sit a little bit, what is it, lower or higher? I think they sit lower on the concept. So some cool details in this casting, but it is a little rough. Doesn't look totally right in the front, looks a little bit off in the back, and then of course the proportions of the wheels are a little bit off too. Walking through all versions of this one, it was actually 2004, and then it disappeared for about 3 or 4 years. Came back as this version with the 10 spokes. Hot Wheels would sometimes do like a stock version to start in the first edition, then they'd return with kind of these weird stripes. The stripes on this one just kind of look goofy, right? 2 versions of that one, 10 spoke and this Faster Than Ever. I'll show you. The Faster Than Ever wheels just roll super well. They're like, I think, nickel-lined wheels or something like that. Built for the track. Do you see how long this runs? It's kind of cool. And so it's the copper color, and then they were nickel axles that make these cars run really, really fast. And so a cool version of that one, that was, I think, 2006, 2007, something like that. Then it served as a mystery car, not in the foil or not in the baggies like we see now, like those mystery bags. It was a black blister. So people were actually ripping, if this were a mystery, they would actually be ripping the blister off so they could see what the car was. Eventually they put a little hole there so people could look at it and figure it out. But it ended up being kind of a bit of a mess, just messed up blisters and everything else. But this Bugatti, I think the first one was this yellow version, again with some goofy striping that doesn't totally make sense with the contours of the car. No headlights, no nothing. Looked good from the side, didn't look good from very many other places. Color combination on the second version was cool. I really liked that. I mean, in fact, if you look back at old pictures of Veyrons, one of the best looking ones was this white with kind of metallic light blue coloring, the 2-tone on the Veyron. But again, it's just why stripe it the way they do. They could have just colored it in those 2 tones and found a way at least. I know it's difficult with a $1 car, but you know, it is what it is. And this is the whole thing about the Veyron. At the time, I should continue to say, when these were released, no one cared at all. I mean, these cars, the mystery cars, there was some interest because they were mystery cars. faster than ever slightly because they were faster than ever. These were not chase cars at all. There were entire faster than ever mixes released. The Bugatti, there were times you could go into the store and find the 2004 Bugatti hanging in a drugstore for like 6 years or 7 years, and I'm not even exaggerating. So these cars were just, there was just no interest in them. Here was the last, there were two other versions released. This was in the basic range. I like the satin blue. This one, the color combination of the styling very much made a lot more sense in terms of what they could and couldn't do with these cars, because it did get the headlights, it got tail lights, got that silver hood and that rear piece. So this one definitely was a better looking version than previous versions. But if there's a signature version outside of the Speed Machines we'll get to, it's this one. This is the one time that Hot Wheels got it right, and it happened to be a Walmart exclusive. They went back to the 10 spokes, which made sense, and they just made it plain satin red, gave it headlights, gave it taillights, and left it freaking alone. And it looks really, really good. Casting doesn't, but the deco does. Walmart exclusives, before they started doing Zamax, they would just do exclusive colors to Walmart, like they do at with the the Kroger and the Dollar General and the old Kmart exclusives. But then Walmart moved to Zamax. But before that, this is what they do. So this satin version is now expensive. It's hard to find. But back in the day, I'm not exaggerating. If I really wanted to, I could have gone to the store and walked away with 60 of them. People just left them. They didn't care. And finally, the last version I'll go over real quickly is the Speed Machines. I would say if someone wanted to collect them, they want the Speed Machines version. It's probably the most desired, that and the Walmart. Speed Machines, because it's the most complete, right? Two-tone, black and white. It's got the gold grille, which they really gave a lot of detail to. Obviously, the detailing in the back. Speed Machine wheels look cool. We've talked about the Speed Machines a lot on this channel. They didn't work at the time. They'd work now, I think. But this car, goes well over $100, $150, right? Especially carded at this point, because people really want it. But, the casting still was not what they needed. And it was retired. I don't know if that was at Bugatti's request or if Hot Wheels itself wanted to retire the casting, but they made a big deal that it was gone, that it was done. And Bugatti vanished for a while, and all of a sudden they are back with a vengeance. The Chiron came back, created a huge frenzy, and now we have the EB110 coming in the end case and the return of the Veyron. So I will do a small comparison just to start. We'll look at the grille. You can see that the grille piece is still separate. But if you look at the headlights, you can see that they are different. Not just from a modification standpoint, but it looks like they are doing the actual Veyron, right? They sit a little bit higher than the concept. You can also see the quality of the casting is better. It's not as rough on this Walmart version. On the rear, same thing. Just while the details aren't there from a Tampo perspective, you can see that it's just been a little bit better detailed on the back, a little bit better proportioned. The engine, obviously the interior is different, not as detailed on the new version, but considering, this will be a $1 car, I'm assuming moving forward, and we'll see it in the basic range, you can see that it makes sense, and all the pieces look right, and the proportions look right. From the side, hold it like this, obviously it makes a lot more sense. It just looks like that front grille wraps around a little bit more complete. It has a little bit better of a front end to it. I know that the concept didn't slope down as much as the actual Bugatti Veyron, but you can see it's still a better looking, concept or not. It just is more complete, better looking. And then the biggest detail is, if I show it at this angle, you can see the wheels fit compared to this angle. I didn't even show the card art, so break away. I'll show you the card art right there. Looking really, really cool. I imagine that this is going to be a very popular model. Won't hang on the pegs too much. Now we'll look at it just by itself so we can appreciate this brand new casting. I am stoked it's here. I really like the Bugatti castings. I think this one is really well done. I don't know who designed it. I don't know if they went off the old notes, but whether they did or not, we have it now. All right, that's a lot of information for a 5-car set, but I think the Bugatti deserves it. EB110's coming, so we'll continue with this theme. We'll bring out all the Bugattis again. Kind of fun to see them all together. You guys tell me what you think. You gonna pick up these cars, whole set, just the Bugatti, just something else? You guys let me know. Thanks. Bye.